There we go, son. Hey, folks, we're in upstate New York. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, Roland Martin here. And I'm with Will Clute, the head Indian guide of all times. And I'll tell you, Will, we have a history of fishing together here on the Saint Laurence River. We're at the Mohawk Indian Reservation, well, First Nations Indian Reservation.
Right. Yep.
And also we have Mark McQuown. And Mark is an electronics expert. I met him years ago when you worked for Laurence. And for the last 10 years, you've been working for Garmin.
Garmin, yes.
And he knows everything about adjusting the perfect adjustments for electronics gear. And so that's your forte.
Right.
That's a big deal. Hey, listen, Will, man, the last couple times we fished together, that was last year or a year and a half ago, we did the Pan American Games. You put us on, you put Scott and I on, we almost won the tournament.
Yes.
In fact, the guys that did win it were on your fish as well.
Right, exactly.
So this guy had it all figured out. And on the Saint Laurence, right now it's spawning season, and we're up a little river now. Now tell us about the river. What's going on here?
Well, the river system, the fish are moving. This is a transition. It's actually pre-spawn.
Yeah.
So the fish haven't moved into spawn yet, so we're kind of catching them pre-spawn. So they're moving through the river system, headed up towards the spawning grounds, and we're just picking them off as they're transitioning from pre-spawn into the spawning areas.
Now, Mark, with your Garmin, is it deep enough to spot these?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
You can spot the fish right now?
Yes, you can.
We can spot the schools.
With the perspective mount, you can see them very, very clear on the screen.
So we're going to be doing some of that. Maybe you can point out what we're looking at, because, you know, the biggest problem with electronics is, because I worked for Laurence a long time ago with those flasher units, and I'd make up big seminars on how to differentiate the little blips and stuff on the screen. It's a little bit of an interpretation, and Mark's really good at it, so we're going to ask him some stuff about how to identify the fish. We're going to, hey, let's get started. What do you recommend we do? How are we going to go?
Well, we'll start out with some Senkos and some Neds, and we'll just go from there.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Will, now we've crossed the river. We were over there, now we're on the east side. What's the deal? There's a little bit of current here, and there's some boulders and stuff here?
Yeah, there's rocks along this edge. The rocks come out, it's like a flat here.
Okay.
And these fish are just cruising through here. They're feeding, just cruising through, feeding up.
Okay.
Trying to fatten up a little bit.
How close, what do you want me to do? Just throw close?
Yeah, just cast,
Just medium size. And what I noticed, the little bit of fishing I've been doing up here lately, is a lot of times that first cast, if you let it sit there a while, sometimes they'll come over and just take it right then. So sometimes I'll just kind of wait a little second and then just a little slow, little teeny bump, and just kind of wiggle it around, because sometimes they're looking at it, you know. But nothing happened then. Anyway, just kind of shake it along.
And at the time, he said that his brother's magazine owner in Wisconsin, Minnesota, did the investigating for us, and he said that it's at the time the biggest one ever caught on a fly rod was 52 inches.
Huh. There's one. I got one, son. Oh yeah.
Good one, Roland.
I finally got one. Yeah, yes, sir. A nice 3 or 4 pounder, huh, son? Nice one to start today. Nice big old smallmouth. That was on the end of a long cast, Will. I made about a 100-foot cast, and he creamed it way out there. But, you know, with that braid, you can feel the strike. Now these are, you know, people ask all the time, what's a harder fighting fish, a smallmouth or a largemouth? There's no question about it. The big smallmouth like this is a mean machine. Do you have a net?
Yeah, we got
yes,
the
you
net.
do. Right. That's a good one, Will. We don't break them off. Good guy. Okay. Nice 3 or 4 pounder. And so many of these fish, I mean, this is like, I don't know, 4 pounds. It's amazing how you can overestimate them. Now that one, just roughly speaking, pretty much a 4-pound fish. I'm not going to weigh it because I don't have the scale with me right now, but that's pretty much a 4-pound fish. And the beautiful thing about it, look how broad and thick he is. Oh gosh, he's just broad and thick as can be. Okay, let's let him go again. What do you think, Mark?
Yep,
a decent one. But you know, we're going to probably catch our average fish at least when Will put us, when Scott and I were up here 2 years ago, if you remember, we weighed in 10 that weighed 46 pounds. So that's a 4.5 pound average. And so that's not even the average that we might catch today. We might catch even bigger fish than that. Oh, wow. You got one? You got one? Yep. Mark's got one. Yes, sir, son. There we go. Hey, he's a jumper, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes, look at that guy. That's what we're talking about.
Like you said, there's nothing fights better than a smallmouth.
Look at that guy. Big old 3 or 4 pounder. Wow. These are all such quality fish. Look at this guy. Oh, son. Tell you, it's quite something. That's a big old, looks like a 5 pounder there. Some of these fish are 5 and 6 pounds. And Will says it's a chance of even getting a 7, but that's like a 5 right there. That's really a big one.
That's a good one.
That's a big old smallmouth. Wow.
Look at the girth.
I'm telling you. Well, maybe not 5, but at a distance he looked good.
Yep. He's probably 4.
He's over 4. Yeah, he's 4. You know, that's the thing when you first catch them like that. You think they're 5, and then all of a sudden you get them on the boat and they're 4, and you put them on the scale and they're 3.14 or something. But anyway, he's a good one.
Gajo stick cut in half on a Ned head.
Yeah, that's something.
Yep. Another clean fish, no marks on them. Let him go.
I'll tell you what I'm using, folks. This is the Phantom Series rod. And this is the 7 foot, and it's kind of like what Will would recommend. And in fact, I asked Will, you know, what he recommended. He recommended a 7 foot medium heavy action spinning rod. That's what this is. And this is the favorite reel. This is the good series, the best series favorite reel, and it's a beautiful drag system. And I have 15-pound braid on there with a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. I just put the 10 on, and I'm just kind of shaking it along. Just going slow and easy with that thing. That little old Senko down there just kind of twitching along. Woo, and stopping, twitching and stopping. Boom. Big old smallmouth will suck it in, son. So, I'm gonna go right there. Come back out of there. The Texas rig thing, there I got it. I got it, the same fish. That's the same one. I threw right back and rehooked them. Exactly the same fish. Yes, sir, son. That's a double trouble. Big old 3 or 4 pounder. Love it. I love it. Okay, folks. It's smallmouth fishing at its best. Big old giant fish. Oh, son. Oh. Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. You know, it's only 10-pound leader, so you have to be kind of careful of them. Can't get too strong with them. There we go, Mark.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
That's a good one. That's good as it gets, son. Mark's my net man. He's going to show us in a little bit how to work some electronics here.
Oh, that's a 4 pounder.
That's a 4
Feel the
pounder.
weight. Yep.
That's a good smallmouth. That's a good
Yes,
small,
look at the shoulders on that thing.
solid, big fat one. And that's the kind of fish that this river has as pretty much an average fish, like 4 pounds. But they're bigger fish, and my goal every day is to catch the biggest one I've ever caught. The biggest smallmouth I've ever caught was 6 pounds, 5 ounces. And Will says, you know, Roland, if you come up here to the Mohawk Indian Reservation, I guarantee you'll catch your biggest fish ever. So I'm going on Will. Will said I'm going to catch one over 6.5. So that's my goal. That's a good one though. That's a really nice bass. Okay, now let me just show you what I was doing here. I took a 5-inch Senko. You got another one? Look at that. Mark's got a good one. Mark's got a good one. Yeah.
That one's staying down.
Yeah, let me get the net.
So strong. Shots on it.
Look at that guy. Yes, sir. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what we're talking about, folks. Big 3 and 4 pounders. Woo!
Beautiful fish.
Okay. Let's see if we can. You know, a lot of times, if you work the lure, say halfway back to the boat, sometimes it pays to just kind of stop it for a second, because often smallmouth or largemouth for that matter will follow a lure, a worm or something, like a Carolina rig or any kind of thing like that, and they'll about halfway to the boat sometimes they'll sit there and dead stick it. Sometimes they'll come and eat it right then, like just let it sit there right now. Just let it sit there, let it sit there, let it sit there, let it sit there, let it sit there. Twitch it a little bit. Nothing happened, but that's a way to catch them. Okay, folks, here we are at the front of Will's boat, and we're with Mark McQuown. He is one of the experts of all times on electronics, and he works for Garmin Corporation. And here's my question, Mark. So many people ask me all the time, they say, Roland, electronics is so complicated, I just feel intimidated about it. And what's your answer to that?
Well, Roland, you know, the modern electronics today are much more easier to operate than they were in the past, because the units work so well in automatic modes.
Okay.
Remember years back when we had paper graphs and flashers, you had to constantly be adjusting sensitivity, suppression, very sensitive to different depth ranges. Now they work so well in automatic, the average person, all they got to really do is just turn it on.
Okay.
And, you know, once they get a little bit used to it, then you can start adjusting for your sensitivity, for your depth ranges, but they work so well in automatic. People should not get intimidated. These units today show so much information, so much detail, that it's just amazing technology, and they're now affordable. I mean, they start at $100.
Well, you know, my son Scott has been with Garmin for about 10 years as well, and he's one of their marquee top pro guys, and he always has these same units on his boat. He says, Dad, it's not that hard to do, and he'll have them all adjusted. And sure enough, I've been up here with Will right here on the river. We've been seeing smallmouth, we see walleye, we see muskies, we see all this stuff on the depth hunter. And my son, he'll say, Dad, you go cast over there, you'll get one. And sure enough, it really does work.
Oh yeah, they work.
But another question: there's a lot of information someone can get on the internet as far as how to how to get it.
So many fantastic YouTube videos, even some that your son has done.
YouTube.
Scott does.
Scott does a good job.
Beautiful videos out there that they'll go step by step by step to help the average angler learn more and more about their electronics.
But now this is the top of the line system.
These are
Will has a really good deal.
But see, here's our new Pan Optics. See,
well, what are you looking at here?
You can actually see the fish swimming around.
Oh yeah, I see them right there. What is that?
And these are walleyes that we were catching a few minutes ago.
Now let me hear. I got this little jig right here, and I'm going to drop it down. And Will was saying,
you can see them swimming around right there.
Drop it right down.
This Pan Optic live scope is just unbelievable technology, because it actually lets you see the fish moving around on the screen.
I'm down to the bottom. Oh, I got one. I had one to hit it.
Here's where your lure went down. We saw it go down there.
I had one hit it. Oh, I got one. I got one. Look, I dropped right down.
Yep.
You said there was a fish right there. Look what I got. Look what I got, son.
Yep, there it is.
Well, it's kind of small.
Yep,
it's not very big. It's just a little baby one. But the point is, he's spotting them on the electronics. You know.
These products do not lie. When it shows fish on the screen like right there, there's fish are there.
I'm going to drop it down one more time. But the point is, this is not a difficult deal.
No, it really isn't. It works very well in automatic. Just turn it on and let it set its own settings.
Okay.
It really does.
Now, your job, I had another one to hit. We're right over them. Oh gosh, they're just fighting like crazy.
Huge school up. See them swimming.
Look, I got another one. Oh no, he got off. Must be little one.
It looks like there's a lot.
I got one.
There's one.
I got one. So it's another small one. Hey, but the point is, and we're actually not even walleye fishing. I came out here and Mark said, well, listen, I can show you right out in the middle of this flat, you know, what to look for, and we happened to find this little small school of walleye. But the point is, we're actually smallmouth bass fishing, and you can do the same thing for bass in what, 10 feet of water or something.
Yep. this time of year when the bass are in so much shallower, your cone angle is going to be a lot narrower, so you're not going to see them as well. And we're out here now in 30 feet of water where our cone angle's 3 times as wide, and we're able to pick them up a whole lot better.
Well, you know, these are exquisite units, and just off the wall, if someone were to get set up in a decent way with a good set of Garmin Pan Optics, for example, about what kind of money are we talking about?
If you want to get into live scope with a multifunction display, you can get a 7-inch EchoMap UHD 73 SV and a live scope for around $2,100.
Okay.
All in.
And that'll put you right on.
It'll just like this.
It's just a little smaller. Just a little smaller.
Other than that, to be identical.
I tell you what, folks, that's the wave of the future. My son Scott, and he's proven it to me right here on these waters. And of course, Mark McQuown, being the top electronics expert of the whole world, he can tell you firsthand, this is the wave of the future. This is the way to catch fish right now, particularly in deep water. So, hey, let's get back and do some smallmouth fishing.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. GoPro. Yeah, I think it's on. Yeah, it's on. Look at this guy. Okay, son. Woo. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, son. That's a nice one. Right by that tree, son. Big old 4 or 5 pounder. Big old nice one. That's maybe 4 or 5, huh? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's what we're talking about, folks.
Ballistic tip.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one there. Well, I tell you what. Hey, Will, I just want to thank you and Mark both for helping me with a great show all about the wonderful fishing we have up here on the Saint Laurence River. And Will, you're just a champion guide. And thanks again, Will, for all the great fishing we've had. And Mark, hey, you gave us a little dissertation on how to read that depth finder.
I hope it helps.
Yeah, I know it's going to help. And big old 4 and 5 pound smallmouth. Hey, I even hooked a muskie.
Yeah, it was a muskie.
So there was all kind of neat opportunities up here. I'm telling you, the St. Lawrence River is the fishing capital of the world.
It is. It is.
And thanks to the Mohawk
Nation
Reservation, this is just really a treat. Hey, folks, we'll see you again soon. Come on up the northern part of the New York.
That's right.
You know, I was born in New York. I was born in
that's
Albany.
right.
I was born in Albany. Hey, so come on back home. Okay, we'll see you later. Thank you for watching.
Hold it,
I'm going to let this go, huh?
Yeah, we got to get some pictures.